Okay, next up, we're going to hear from Joy Boyer, Program Director from the Division of Genomes and Society, and she's going to give the presentation for the renewal of the Elsi Research Program announcement.
Hi. So this is the first time we've had to bring our Elsi program announcements to Council. And the reason for that is it's essentially NIH has changed how it handles program announcements. It will no longer issue do I need to get closer to the mic? I'm sorry. There's another one here. Is that going to cause problems?
No, it hasn't.
Okay. Can you hear me okay? Okay, sorry about that. Always the Elsi program announcements have been in existence since the beginning of the Human Genome Project. So starting back in 1990, we issued an R01, and then we added the R21 and the R03 to that. They've always been issued as program announcements, not as PARs, but NIH will no longer let us issue a program announcement for an R01, an R21, or an R03. So we're now issuing them as program announcements with special receipt, referral, or review considerations. That's really the only difference. And I don't want people to worry that something is changing in the Elsi program. It really is just a change in mechanism and a change in the NIH policy. So the Elsi program was established in 1990. We look at research on the implications of genetics and genomics for individuals, family, and society. We've funded over 600 projects in our almost 3 decades of existence. We support very diverse methodologies and disciplines. We have 3 standing program announcements, or historically have, the R01, the R03, and the R21. And these are reissued every 3 years. So this is a standard process we go through every 3 years. We reissue the program announcements. Over the years, several ICs have been participating, and our current PAs will expire next September 2020. The reason I'm taking it to Council now is we want to build in a lot of time so that our participating ICs can get the approvals they need to sign on to the announcements when we issue them again. So again, I went through the PA is a program announcement for standard general interest. PAR has special receipt, referral, review criteria. As I mentioned, NIH is no longer allowing institutes to issue standing PAs for these mechanisms. They encourage the issue of what are called notices of special interest, or NOSIs. And as you're aware, recently NIH has issued their announcements as either clinical trial allowed, clinical trial required, or clinical trial not allowed. If we were to issue our program announcements as NOSIs, we would have to issue up to 6 announcements, 6 of these NOSIs, which would get really complicated when you've got other ICs signing on and they have their own issues around whether they can do clinical trials and that sort of thing. So what we're going to do is we're going to issue these PARs as clinical trial optional, which is an issue, which is an option when you're issuing a PAR. So I know that's a lot of inside baseball, but again, I just wanted to clarify that that's the reason we're doing it. We're hoping that this will, again, facilitate participation of the other ICs. And another side bonus is we can actually introduce some more targeted review criteria, which will be really useful, particularly for the R21s and the R03s, which tend to not fare as well in review because the mechanisms are a little bit different and people are looking for something bigger rather than something smaller. It will also allow us to emphasize the fact that these are really multidisciplinary applications. So reviewers should be looking for a variety of methods and approaches, and it's not necessarily going to be hypothesis driven. So in summary, we're going to issue the 3 LCPAs as PARs. They will be clinical trial optional. Again, these are multidisciplinary, single or mixed methods. We include conceptual and analytical approaches as well as qualitative and quantitative methods. We will have some tailored review criteria. I would mention that we will obviously update the announcements to reflect the latest strategic planning process, and as we've always done, reflect changes in the field. So the new announcements will reflect those changes. We also maintain an online list of emerging areas and potential topic areas that we're able to update in a timely way so that we don't have to wait 3 years to make updates to that list. And of course, we'll be soliciting IC participation. And I'm happy to answer any questions or any comments. It's pretty straightforward. So I think, can we just go to a vote, Rudy?
I take it that means people are in support of this, right? Okay, I'm good enough with that. So just to be clear, there are actually 3 FOAs here. So we're going to do a batch vote, but you're signing on to the R03, the R21, and R01, all 3 of those announcements and those activity codes. All right, here we go.
I just have one quick question. And that is, so it's interesting that you're going to have a different approach to the R03s and R21s. And I wonder if other institutes also make that kind of differentiation. And you said it's partly because you think you're not getting, or the applications don't fare as well as R01s. And I wonder, is there any more detail you can provide about, so those are basically 2 questions.
Yeah, that's really just our experience. I don't know that other institutes have that same experience. I think because Elsi is so multidisciplinary, when you get into a smaller application, it can become even more problematic when reviewers are looking for something big, they're looking for, preliminary data, that sort of thing. This just allows us to emphasize some of the differences in Elsi research from other types of research. Any other questions?
Okay, there's your 5-second rule. So we're going to take the vote. Can I get a motion to sponsor the concepts or to approve the concepts? And second, all in favor? Any opposed or abstaining? Thank you very much. Thank you, Joy.
Thank you.